Using Chevy 2000 Chevy?
Yeah, 2000 Chevy Express van.
And his cargo trailer. So you have two living spaces. So let's tell us all about why you chose a cargo trailer and a Chevy van.
I've been kind of on the fence when I was deciding to do the van build and go on the road. I didn't know what was going to be, what would work for me initially. So I decided to go through and build both a trailer and a van. And then I figured later on I could decide whether to downsize and sell the trailer or not. So currently I'm using both, and there's benefits and downsides to having both. The van is a no-brainer. I will always have the van, and I really like the extended van for myself. I decided not to go with a high top van in this go around because I wanted the affordability to use the whole roof for solar, and I didn't want the rig to be overly tall. So that's why I chose the extended van. So currently I don't foresee me getting rid of the cargo trailer. I kind of like having both. There's definitely, for me, there's more benefits right now than downsides. So I do like to have a base camp. It's nice to unhook the trailer and then go chase my groceries and water and stuff and then come back. And it also establishes a camp so other people know that you're camped here, and to me it just gives a better appearance of why you're out here. So I look more like I'm, recreational camper than actually living out here. So the van is just a generic, unfortunately it's white, there's only a few million of them out there. But I looked at it more as the mechanical side and what I was looking for a template, I guess, of what I wanted for my van. And if you look inside, I have access to my water. I've got a water faucet here, and then I also have a spigot there to get quick access to fill buckets of water. And this all is tied to my 42-gallon water tank, which is located under my bed.
So you have a 42-gallon water tank in here.
42-gallon water tank.
Wow.
And then access to the water tank for fill is right here. So I actually had took the time and I cut in an RV fill so I could easily roll up and get my water as I needed. I went and spent some extra money on creature comforts. I put in dual swivel seat podiums. The van didn't come with that originally. That really helps expand the room of the van dramatically.
It does. It makes it huge.
I mean, I got a bowling alley in here. I mean, but I wanted room.
Did you have a hard time finding the swivels?
I had to custom order these, and I apologize I don't have the name of the company, but they're based here out of Arizona, and they cost approximately $300 a piece, and they make them to suit. But it was well worth it because, like I said, to be able to turn the seats around just is night and day in what room you have. I can further have more isolation of the space with a curtain I can put down. I just got that. I can, close that off at night if I truly want to. If I don't have my windshield cover on, then this is great for just driving, doing short stops. I can still have privacy. So for me, I like my layout currently because I can immediately get in the van and I can do everything right here from where I'm sitting. I can get my water to cook or do whatever I need right here. And I have storage in here as well for pots and pans. It's a hand pump. I got a lot of my ideas and products from the marine aspect of buying parts. 42-gallon water tank under here.
Right.
And my battery bank surrounds the water tank. I built the bed afterwards. My idea was to center the weight in the van over the rear axles. So that was the first thing that came in the van, was building my electrical system and the water first. Furniture and everything else was secondary and could be put anywhere. My batteries, I've got 800 pounds of batteries.
Wow.
Under my seat, and water, 42 gallons, through, what is that, 350 pounds of weight. generically, I guess, approximately. So when I'm full tank, full everything, I'm rolling down the road almost 8,400 pounds just in the van. But being a heavy-duty 1-ton van, it handles it effortlessly.
We should add here too that you have the Chevy extended van, which has a very long wheelbase.
Correct.
That can easily handle this kind of weight.
Yes, the Chevy has done a superb job with the mechanical aspects of the express van, and they have such a universal floor plan on them. It's great for a van dweller because you have a lot of options in how you want to build your van. I cook electrically, so everybody, I've gotten some interesting looks when I tell everybody that I can cook. I do everything electrically. My love of solar is why I do it electrically, but also because of the heat gain or heat load. When you cook with propane, you build up all this extra heat inside your rig. I use a New Wave Pick Pro induction cooktop for my cooking needs. And it's awesome. I mean, it cooks faster. The amount of energy it uses is very nominal. Sometimes I think people think they need to really build a big system to utilize and have the luxuries of household appliances. You really don't. I have 5 cups of coffee in 2 minutes of time, plug it in and go. So it doesn't really use a whole lot. It uses maybe 2 amps. I have just a simple toaster. Okay, it probably uses the same, 2 amps. And all these appliances are cheap. So I mean, I think one of the biggest questions about van dwelling that I have read and seen in challenges is people wondering, do I go with all DC products, or do I go through an inverter and then go with AC driven products, household appliances. They make pure sine wave inverters nowadays that draw literally next to nothing anymore to drive the component. Okay, you're always going to use the base amount of amps DC regardless to drive any appliance, but the efficiency has gotten so good with the inverter that you're really not giving up a lot. But where you're saving a ton of money doing this electrically is you can buy all these appliances for a fraction of the price that you can buy DC appliances. I'm going to say if you have a 300 watt system, 2 to 300 watt system, and a decent pure sine wave inverter, 1500 watt inverter, you can cook electrically. I didn't want to have an open flame hazard of propane on a Coleman stove inside my van.
So what are you using for a mattress there?
Alright, so I have a 5-inch foam mattress. I just bought this. It was $100 at a mattress store that I had shopped at. It's a twin.
One of the things you're planning is to take trips in just the van, and you were in it for 2 months at a time.
I've already done it. Yeah, I'd already done it for 2 months. Last fall before I came out here, me and the dog, I went and got South Dakota residency so I could travel. South Dakota residency by far is the easiest to acquire and has the least requirements behind it. And I have a real ID, driver's license. Me and the dog camped for 2 weeks up there and traveled in the van. And that was our maiden voyage in my fresh build that I just threw together. And we had no problems with it. We were easy. I was easily able to adapt to this than having the expanded luxury of the trailer. So by no means, no one needs to pull a trailer to be happy living this lifestyle.
So while you're in the van, you use a porta potty?
I use a bucket.
Just a bucket?
I have no problem with the bucket method. And once people get past the ooh idea of how bad it is, you just keep moving on, and it's easy to do, and you move on with life. Okay, being a van dweller or the way we live, we all accept a different reality of what we interpret our daily hygienic needs are. And I still clean daily. I'm not a filthy guy. I mean, I love all the ideas that I've gotten from everybody. So I use alcohol to wipe down with, which works great. I clean my dishes with white vinegar and wet wipes. Amazing, like I said, everybody talks about them, but yeah, the best invention in the world for a van dweller was wet wipes. This is what it's called, perforated vinyl. And the idea behind it is advertisers use it, screen printers use it to put advertising on vehicles. So when a vehicle has windows, they use perforated vinyl so you can still put advertising on it, but you can still see out of it for vision and for safety needs while you're driving. It distorts, you cannot see in it as well, but you can see out of it. Choosing a window van, I didn't want to lose the benefit of having a window van. Okay, I like actually be able to see out windows. And so this gives me the luxury of seeing out, but also having privacy. It was well worth the money to buy this, or even if you paid somebody to put it on. I mean, you can go to any window tint place or actually screen printing or printing places now, and they'll do your van. And they'll actually do it, and they'll even dye the perforated vinyl to whatever color you want. So it's not limited to white vans. You're going to expect to pay between $300 to $800, depending on how big your vehicle is, to put perforated vinyl on, to have to pay somebody to install it for you. I paid approximately $230 for this roll I bought, and I put it on myself.
So I noticed you have 3 standard boxes.
Yes.
And tell us about them.
All right, so we all have a challenge needing storage. So for me, it made sense to utilize any dead spots or areas on the van outside that I could utilize and make storage. So with the rack that I made for my solar panels, I created and downsized a common toolbox that was bought at a hardware store. These boxes were $65 a piece online. I was blown away on how cheap they were. And their original advent is that they're made for under chassis trucks. Okay, so they go under like flatbed trucks. I have enough room back here that to me this was a dead spot, and like I said, I didn't want to waste any room, so this was a perfect place to mount storage boxes. So yeah, I got plenty of storage. Got a work table, carry whatever I feel is important. I can lock them. I bolted them straight through the inside of the door, and I used grade 5 bolts for strength. And as long as you don't put too much weight in these, the risk of damaging your door and your hinges is going to be minimal, in my opinion. I did not put a vent fan on the roof of my van, and I wanted to maximize my space for my solar panels. So instead of putting a roof fan on, like a fantastic fan like everybody has, I chose to install this fan on the window so I can actually get airflow through the van and get ventilation with mounting this custom fan to the back window.
So this is the fan.
So this is an off-road or racing cooling fan used in hot rods and whatever application. And since my window is a pop window, I can pop it open, and then I turn the fan on and it'll pull air through that, and that's how I develop airflow through the van.
So you got a Nomadic fridge here.
I do. So I've got a very nice Nomadic fridge.
Huge. That's huge.
I mean, it's monstrous. I actually have filler stuff in there to take up the space so that the efficiency will still be good. I chose not to right now to further insulate it because I haven't felt the need. It doesn't use enough energy to bother me. It keeps everything cold. So right now I haven't felt the need to go over it with any extra insulation.
Well, you've done a really amazing job with this van, Randy. I really appreciate your showing it to us. I think what we'll do is go ahead and do a separate video of your cargo trailer, so because it has a lot of really innovative ideas too that people want to see.
Okay.
So thank you so much for sharing your life and your van with us, and
I appreciate it.
We'll take a look at your cargo trailer next.
All right, thank you.
And all of you out there, thanks for watching. Like us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you on our next video.